So in this video I'd like to talk a bit about two ideas I had about archaeology in the last years actually. And here you can see an image of my neighborhood. I live here. If I look to the left you see the second balcony over there. That's actually my own personal balcony. And this is a typical 50s area built just after the Second World War, which has these municipal gardens, shrubberies. They've now just been trimmed, and these have always fascinated me from an archaeological perspective, because if you look closely to them you can see that the soil level is often much higher than the pavement. And this always fascinated me because you can be pretty sure it's not the way it has been designed. So how did these soils get higher from an archaeological perspective on stratigraphy and soil formation? Well, today I found the evidence of why these gardens have become higher than they used to be, higher than the pavement at least. And as you can actually see here, that people have dumped their surplus soil on top of it. You could say I have an archaeological critique here, because what do you do if you have extra soil in your garden? You just go outside to a municipal garden and you dump it there. Well, it doesn't sound really like a nice thing to do. But on the other hand, it's apparently a clear cultural tradition we've had in this area for the last 70 years, which has added a substantial layer to the municipal garden. So this could be called a cultural practice. So this brings me to the next idea I've had about archaeology. And apparently in my not very long archaeological career I have this phase in which I collected soils. For archaeologists the soils are a mythical thing, they are a metaphor, because it's the soils that remember the past that we excavate and try to learn about. So at one point in my career I started to collect soils from battlefields, and I've actually collected quite a bit, which I'm now going to show to you. And from Flanders I've got this bag of soil from the battlefield of Passendale, which is of course a very, very famous British-German battlefield from 1917. So, I have to get rid of it. I can't keep all these soil samples in my house anymore, so why not just add it to this municipal garden? There we go. This is a bag of soil from the 1944 1st American Airborne Division battlefield near Son, Eindhoven in the Netherlands. So this is airborne battlefield soil, and let's just add this to the shrubbery in my neighborhood too. The last one is a bit of a peculiar one. I once visited Berlin. I was probably staying at my friend Tina's house, and she lives close to Mauer Park. And I don't know exactly why, but at some moment I apparently decided to collect a sample of Mauer Park soil in Berlin, which I then always kept for years and years and years. So, but if you think of it, this is probably also a World War II battlefield, but it's also been the place where the Cold War was sort of fought at its maximum strength, which is of course the place where the Berlin Wall was standing. So I will now add this to shrubbery in Wageningen. There we go. There we have it. I contributed as an archaeologist to a 70-year-long cultural practice in Wageningen in the Netherlands, making the community shrubberies higher, and I've also put in some soil of 3 different battlefields. So this has now become a little part of the battlefield of 3 different wars, all in one place in Wageningen.